888-848-3311. The book costs only $6.99, so do yourself a favor and buy the book today.
Hey, did you know there's a live psychology talk show Thursday and Friday at noon where you can call in and get free guidance and also learn several different topics relating to ending the stigma on mental health? It's called Moments of Clarity on WTAN 1340 AM. It's with licensed therapist Tiffany Warner, who will try to end the stigma on mental health. But the only way you can do that is to listen to Moments of Clarity Thursday and Friday at noon on WTAN 1340 AM, the Tan Talk Radio Network. Make sure you tune in to the only FM sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area on Saturday afternoons from 3 to 6. That's right, 3 hours now of the evolution of sports talk radio, the Sports Web. We give you your own walk-up music. We let you call in twice, and we don't hang up on you like those other sports talk shows do. On Saturday afternoons in the Tampa Bay area, it's the Sports Web with your host, Peter Blake, along with Sean the Sports Don. So every Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6, it's the Sports Web on the Tan Talk Sports Network.
Don't turn it off now. You need this stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
All right, welcome everybody. All the people who took the time to dial this show in, thank you so much. And welcome to the imho.love show. IMHO is, in my humble opinion, .love. That's a suffix you can get now. Instead of .com or .net, you can get .love. So spread the love, baby. Here we are. It's Wednesday night. We're here. This is December 12th of 2018. And we're broadcasting out of the Tan Talk Studios in sparkling Clearwater, Florida. And it is another session of imho.love. We cover CE5, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. We got a little humor and maybe an occasional aha moment we like to share with everybody. Over here immediately to my left is my co-host and one of my best buddies on the planet, Michael Murburg.
Hola, amigo.
Hey, we're not waking you or anything, are we?
No, I'm just suffering from December. Low light, low energy.
Okay, I get it. But
it's like,
but you're still in Florida. The sun's out.
Not when it's dark, though. It's like after 5 o'clock.
I'm in Nome, Alaska now. Okay.
I feel sorry for the people up north. I mean, when they get up at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's still dark.
Yeah. And a couple of weeks ago, we had one of our CE5 core group dudes on, and he was just fantastic and had so much more to share than the hour affords us here. Welcome back to IMHO, Derek Reichardt. Derek.
Thank you. Flattered to be here again.
Good to see you, man. You look nice, and you have the beautiful Amanda with you. You're kind of like a pro wrestler, and you got like the manager chick that shows up with you.
She's absolutely that.
Slides you the steel chair while the referee's not looking. That's a good relationship to have. You got to have a chick that's going to slide you that steel chair.
That's her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the pandemonium. But anyway, we're all kin to the CE5 group, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. We gather out there at Area 51 often, and at least every month to have the global CE5. So we're in unison with all the other groups that gather together, and we try to, through human prayer and meditation, and we approach the extraterrestrial energies out there, and we'd like to commune with them. So we build all these little PowerPoints all over the world, and if they're cruising by, they can give us a little, flash the headlights at us, maybe turn the fog lights on and off, just to let us know that we're out there. Now, Derek, you're one of the guys that's out there all the time, and this is a natural progression for you, as a lot of us do. Everybody that I notice that's in this CE5 thing is a seeker. They were either scientific people that just kept digging and digging and digging, or they were faithful people that just kept, different religions and frames of thought and, various monasteries you can visit. But this kind of all brings us to about the same place. We're really looking for that communal spirit that is one with human beings and one with everything here and beyond, you know?
Absolutely. The seeking itself has been the most relevant theme to my life, and I thank everything for it. And it's kind of funny you mentioned, like, scientifically, yes, I pursued the sciences and in college and was always interested in that. Raised by a family who wasn't choosy about religion or spirituality. I was to go out there and explore myself. And when it came to the point where you do start awakening to consciousness and awakening to a much bigger universe, you realize that what you've been told both about science and religion is not necessarily true. And it's not a religion versus science thing at all. The truth has a lot to do with both of them.
Yes.
That there's a divinity to science.
Yes.
And that's what's been really amazing is seeking and finding that and growing in that. And I don't think that the seeking ever stops.
Well, I don't think it really can, because what you're seeing, you know, obviously on the big span of vibrations, I'm just guessing that humans are kind of a abrupt little vibration. We can self-tune a little bit, or allow ourselves to be tuned, but as a whole, I think humanity is a bit of a coarse vibration, especially in your warring zones and stuff like that. Those are humans acting at their worst.
Absolutely, and that's the one
They
thing
really bring down the curve, you know, for us mellow Americans that are just trying to make a living and watch a little football.
Yeah. I try to try to get away from all of that too, and the more I've stepped away from those bounds of, you know, and I don't want to knock sports fans or anything like that, but I've found
it's
less
all
and
part
less
of the,
use for it.
It's all part of the circus, man.
Yeah,
Sure, bread and circuses.
Well, Green Bay fans are really deep, and Giants fans are shallow. I mean, it's our team is always the best.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to chime in is you got the Law of One and the raw tapes, and one of my favorites is floating around 46.9, session 46, and it's the 9th question that's asked. Now I can read.
Sorry.
My X-ray vision is not working so well. But I'll digress a little bit. You were talking. Derek was talking about the seeker, and in 32:14 and 46:9, I'm starting to sound like some kind of like Bible Belt person here with this. But what Ross says is the human seeker seeks the one, the logos, and what we know by the logos is the divine reason implicit in the cosmos and ordering it and giving it form and meaning. And what he says is the human seeker seeks the one by the balanced and self-accepting, self-aware, both of its apparent distortions, these are emotional states, and its total perfection. Resting in this balance, in this balanced awareness, the seeker then opens the self to the universe, which it is. And that's exactly what we do in CE5.
Wow. Yes, that's exactly true. We do, as we meditate, we ask to bring forth our most peaceful vibrations. The energy that we would be dispensing would be the purest that we can muster, because that's what we want to offer our extraterrestrial friends. They don't need our, fear-laced weirdness that we think too. So we kind of turn our soft bellies to them. They're like, okay, you're going to lay on my back, you rub my belly now. Okay, I'm going to offer you. This is as good as me, as good as I get right here.
Well,
and they show up.
Yeah, we did. But I think we had one show up early on in our session. I didn't get a chance to see it, but some people said they told me that. But even more importantly after that is this past week, one of our members, Don R., who was our cancer healing, got some more pictures of orbs that showed up at her house and outside during her daily walk. And she's got some very good pictures. I'll be posting them on the Tampa site. So they will go on the Facebook site.
Well, that's fabulous, man. That's really good news.
Yeah, it's really cool. She got good pictures too. She's encouraged now she'll buy the expensive camera, and then all of a sudden they'll go home. They
Nice.
won't show up.
Like I did.
It's absolutely true how that love energy works, though. And I was really surprised when I first met Mike and started to coming to CE5 about a year ago, that the meditations aren't complicated at all. It's sending up your love energy. I share my love for my children in particular, and that's an absolute love that there's absolutely
Sure.
no impurities to it all.
Right.
And my friends and family at CE5, and things always happen. There's always something significant that happens at every CE5 event, and it's quite simple. It's all love-based. It's all consciousness.
Yeah, and you bring your better half here too. So I mean,
Absolutely.
she's a wonderful energy to have in the field.
It's nice to be able to share something like that with somebody so close.
And wonderful energies are always welcome. It's an amazing gathering of souls there at
You're about to say Area 52, but it's 51.
no, Area 51, and we're not live. We're not live on Facebook for some particular reason. So, okay. But we got YouTube back there.
The YouTube.
I don't see the little live thing. Anyway, what we did is just a gathering of people that come out are such peaceful and surrendered souls that they're pretty well adjusted folks and very intelligent conversations that I hear going on all around the room.
Oh, sure, there are people that use their discernment, and that's rare these days.
They've been able to make some hard choices. And what's nice is when you're in a group of people, oh, we are going? Okay, thanks, Petey. I couldn't see it. You know me, I'm old. This is the Facebook, right? The Facebook.
It's
or
the Facebook.
Or the YouTube.
The YouTubes.
The YouTube.
On the interwebs.
That's been a running joke.
It's the tweeter.
It's the tweet. But
Don't get me
anyway,
started.
in fact, Michael and myself and you, Derek, we've had the privilege of leading the groups in meditations and really creating a wonderful collective energy that we send up, which I do believe does, shine like a beacon, because just because we can't see with the human eye doesn't mean that it's really not this wonderful, movie spotlight for these guys.
It absolutely is. Consciousness flows to the end of the universe instantaneously, and it's got a flashlight. I can't believe that it does anything but, and if you believe it, it's there.
Yeah, it's and you know what's nice too is, hey, we don't have all the answers. Where would you possibly write them down?
We're just seeking.
We're seeking, but what's nice is we seek with a level of innocence and acceptance, and also knowing that what you believe today could easily be upgraded or improved in your psyche tomorrow. Something that you think is almost an absolute could change, 50% anyway, or whatever. So, and as we have these discussions with each other about big picture stuff, like I'll learn a little something from you, you'll learn something from Mike, and then I'll listen to Mike, because I listen to Mike all the time because he's pretty smart.
Smart guy, yes.
But it's just this wonderful collective sharing that we have there. And folks, the CE5 thing is there's a couple of different ways to learn about it. If you're curious about it, the most direct thing you can do is if you go to disabilityattorney.net.
Oh, actually, that's changed.
Okay.
If you want to get a copy of our protocol out at the Tampa CE5 Ambassadors of the Universe group, you can write me at darbyranch@gmail.com. Darby Ranch CE5. That's Darby Ranch CE5 @gmail.com.
Darby Ranch CE5 @gmail.com. And Michael will send you the protocols. And there's also another book out by our friend Celia Hatch, a CE5 handbook. It's the letter A and then CE5 handbook, which tells you the protocols that you can start your own group. And there's no money involved. You're not going to make any money off of this. This isn't a cookie drive.
It's worth more than gold.
Yeah, and it's to me, it's such a beautiful freestyle. It's not church. It's past that or whatever. Church is just so limited because it's But anyway,
yeah, the dessert is much better.
Yeah,
coffee's good too.
Someone asked, "Can anybody go?"
Well, yeah. Well, you yes.
If you dump fear.
Yeah, well, that's the other. There are a couple of things that you need to know before you come out here, with us. It happens once a month. Now, Michael, you want to go over this real quick? What are your core requirements?
Yeah, the core requirement is that you go to Meetup and join the Meetup group. That way you can keep apprised. There'd be apprised of everything that's going on with the group, the dates, the functions, what's going on. You can also hit me up for the protocol, like I just said. And you can hit our Facebook site to see the posts. We have guest posts, and I do some screening of what I find are valuable resources on the internet and other posts by CE5 groups. This radio show is posted with about 70 other groups on a weekly basis right now. I do that. It's posted worldwide. We have probably 200,000 people that have access to this radio show through YouTube.
Wow.
So
that's a lot.
Yeah, and I could start going through the groups, but I haven't updated it. And the last time I wrote this, we had 50. Now we're well up over 70. So I just want to thank everybody who's out there who has been listening to go to imho.love on the YouTube. Subscribe, like it, and send it to your friends.
Can we link the protocols to imho.love?
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
No, I'm sure we can.
Okay.
Let them. They're for free. So the more the merrier, the better.
I'm on it. You have a web nerd now.
Okay, cool.
Derek says he wants to tool around with it
Cool.
for free. I told him, yeah, you drive a pretty hard bargain.
Well, yeah. And, actually, I got sort of face banned for about a week from some political posts. So I had to start the Tampa CE5 Facebook site. So
Bummer.
yeah. Well, necessity is the mother of invention.
Well,
Absolutely.
So you just can't take that lawyering out of you sometimes.
No, or
Someone asked the name of the meetup page. It's Tampa CE5 Ambassadors to the Universe.
right, and the Facebook page is Tampa CE5 Ambassadors to the Universe, Darby Ranch, Florida, USA.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there you go. That's Area 52, folks.
Area
We have one right here in Florida.
The most least likely place to see a UFO, right?
Yeah, it used to be, but strangely enough, we've seen plenty of them, and we do have MUFON members in our group. Some diehard MUFON members are just a wonderful asset to the group.
I love the MUFON people. They're cool.
But I wanted to mention that I had been listening to a YouTube video with Grant Cameron and Steve Mira. And what they were talking about is Mira's group has gone out in, I believe it's Scotland, and they have recorded change in gravitational waves that exist after UFOs have been, enjoined with different groups or spotted. And the same thing with magnetic fields, which means, when we go out to the field and we do make contact and they appear out there in whatever ways they do appear visually, some closer, some far away. There are a number of different ways to describe them. But we do feel the litmus test for contact is the heartfelt feeling you get when they're in the area. That's really undeniable, and that's just generally accepted as what's going on out there. And there may be actually an explanation for it, because the groups that create their own magnetic field or gravitational field, whatever you want to call that field that's connected to us in the circle by love and intention.
That's a good thing.
Is picked up, and it may actually be affected by the gravitational waves, or affect gravitational waves and magnetic fields, which means that we get that feeling of not only elation but of unity when they appear, because we are within that gravitational wave field and we are being affected by
Or a human Stonehenge.
Right, very positively.
Yeah, sure. That's beautiful. And to get back to just your basic things, if you want to attend, the one thing you kind of need to know about yourself is if this is frightening to you. I mean, if you really did have, a true contact, we're not looking for people that want to throw rocks at it. You kind of, or shoot at it, for heaven's sake.
Right. Or play country western to it. Somehow,
especially new country. If you play new country, anyway.
Well, actually, last year we had a CE5 during out at the ranch. My next door neighbor had decided to have his yearly Christmas party at the same time. So that was the first and only time we ever had a CE5 where nothing showed. We decided to ditch the field at about 10:30 because the neighbors, the live bands had gone on and the gunfire started.
Yes, yeah, they were
shooting in the air, and it's
Yeah.
like not safe for UFOs. So
Yeah,
they're
like,
smart enough to go.
dude,
home.
you are so stepping on our UFO buzz right now. I mean, my God.
I
you
know. It's like what a juxtaposition of like
Oh,
some
wow,
people
absolutely.
meditating and trying to make contact with these these celestial beings, and then guys
Gunfire.
like chewing tobacco and shooting guns and drinking beer, and
Nice going, Cletus. You chased them off.
The monastery next to the saloon.
listening to Bellamy Brothers. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Roman, Jackie, Nicholas, Greg Clamo, Nancy, and Melissa Ann, and Daniel Miller all the way up in Canada. All right, man. Leroy, there he is. And Kevin Briggs. All right. Those are Leroy and Kevin are in our core group, CE5. And that's the other thing, too, of the many things. And just remember now, should you start getting interested in these CE5 things, you can certainly attend. You need to get with us via email and learn the protocols. And it's a real mellow group of people. And it's a time endeavor. I mean, it's going to take up your whole Saturday. This isn't like you can leave, I guess, but people don't.
No, you shouldn't. You don't want to.
Yeah, if you don't have an attention span more than a few hours, then maybe try a small one at your house and work up to it or something.
The thing is too, if you need to learn the protocols, they're not difficult. If you hit me up for my protocol, there's a bunch of different links on YouTube you can watch and become familiar with it. Don't expect that you can get the protocol on Friday and be ready for UFO contact on a Saturday. It takes a little bit of work up front. If you've had contact before and you've done this before, it's a little bit different. But if this is your first time, get the protocols, start them a month before. Usually on the Sunday before or the Monday before we have a CE5 group, I start doing some meditation and thinking about what I want, what I need, and to make my life more peaceful, show more gratitude and forgiveness and all the kind of things we base the protocol on. Kind of learn how to get your Zen on. And then when you come out, you have dinner and you get to meet some very wonderful people and you share your stories. If you're a contactee, you'll be able to talk about it. There'll be people that have had contact, so you're not a weirdo. You're not going out and
Right.
You're not alone. And that's one of the reasons I started the group was that there were so many of us out there that had nobody to talk to this about.
That was
Yeah.
surprising to me. They're all normal, classy people, not a fringe crowd. They're
Yeah.
legitimate people that have all had experiences. It's been the first time I've been able to
Right.
talk and be comfortable in an environment like that. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah. Run of the mill, wonderful, human beings that have, decent lives. They're lawyers and nurses and engineers and former Army officers and military out there. And
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, the backgrounds of the people that we meet with are like, whoa, really? You did that?
It's a
Holy
good
cow.
resume,
Yeah, really. Yeah.
and especially the contract and the contact backgrounds too, because a lot of people that end up, a lot of people have contact really young in life, like Derek did, I have, and you have as well. And you get through life and you're wondering, why only you? But then you realize, we have almost 90 members in the group, and it's a local group.
Yeah.
It's generally the Tampa Bay area.
Right.
And on any given Saturday out there, we have between 25 and 35 people.
Sure.
Who are doing this, and we're making contact happen. We're bringing in visuals, and we're getting good videos, and
Sure.
for what it's worth. There was a time when I didn't even let cameras or videos out there because I felt that it disturbed the contact experience.
Right.
And, things change little by little. And
Well, the thing of it is if we are trying to promote, and that's the thing, we're trying to promote the awareness of this more than the actual event itself. I mean, the events themselves are going to happen, semi-randomly around the world as people get enlightened. I mean, the energy is going to move it that way. And initially, that was very, and you approached it from a very puritanical point. But at that time, you had not started promoting it. It was kind of we all knew each other, the early crew.
It was something we did as friends, and
Yeah.
And the reason it's out there, we use the word promote, but what we're trying to do is encourage people to get involved in it. This is not a moneymaker for any of us here. We're doing all this voluntarily. We pay for airtime ourselves so we can bring the message out to people.
Sure.
And in this age of casino capitalism and a society that's based on hedonism and narcissism, and where these traits are celebrated, and where we have an oppressive government system in all these different countries that are trying to control people, we're offering, or CE5 offers them the freedom to go out and make contact with extraterrestrial, non-human intelligences and raise their spiritual awareness and their spiritual beings up to a much, much higher level. And I think that we're not going to be able to change the world as it exists, but we will be able to create a new world with this.
That's a beautiful way to put it, because it is part of, we use the term awakening all the time, and I tell you, and at a lot of people's stage in their life, they're not ready for a new awakening. They've been running through the maze so long, they're just going to run till they drop out of the maze. But there's those of us that have that burning inside, that we really, really want to find out more and more truth. Yeah, and really, that's your life challenge.
Getting closer.
Yeah, it really is the life challenge. And if something stirs you inside, and that's the main thing with our group, I believe. We all have this very strong internal energy that is looking for the fulfillment of the universe. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been walking around here going, man, I don't know about this place. And I've always had that.
Yeah, it feels funny.
Yeah, so I've never been completely at home here, I got to tell you. And I'm one of those guys that puts down shallow roots, but my thing is people. I really do love people genuinely, and I have such an incredible collective of friends, and I'm blessed. And really in that category, you're sitting near a billionaire. I mean, you really are in the same room with a billionaire as far as friendships go.
Absolutely.
Well, really, that was a fast half hour, Pete. Well, ladies,
before we go, and
Okay.
I hear the music, but what I want to get to is look, so many people in life, especially Steeler fans, have the attitude that life's a bitch and then you die. Don't want to pick on Steeler fans, but no, life's a bitch and then you die is not it. No, that's not it. There's so much, much more to it than that, and you can open that door with CE5.
Amen. That's a true story. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf, Michael Murburg, our special guest, Derek Reichardt. If you're listening on Facebook, you get a little treat. You don't have to sit through 6 moments of silence or ads. Our buddy Pete has lined up a stand-up performance of mine from several years ago, and that'll fill the gap, and we'll be back in about 6 minutes. Thank you for listening to imho.love.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay, WZHR, Zephyr Hills,
FM 104.3.
Listen.
Believed it was his duty to cover up the then candidate's dirty deeds. He apologized.
Welcome, my good buddy, Mr. Lou Angelwolf. Let him hear it. I lived out in Texas for a couple of years. Recently just moved back. Love Texas, man. And that old story, everything's bigger in Texas, it's true. They got some big bugs out there, boy. They got mosquitoes so big out there, after they bite you, they offer you orange juice and cookies. They're like, hey, man, we took a lot of blood. You all right? You need to sit down and spell. Soda pop on soda pop. All the mosquitoes sound like Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right. I got the blood what you need now, buddy. And in Florida, we got the opposite thing. We got little bugs. We got them little ones, the no-see-ums. Oh, God, don't you wish they were called no feelings? What miserable little creatures these are. They're just filled with hate. Just flying around and biting the shit out of you. They're like little divorce attorneys, just attacking you. Living out in Texas, man, you live out in Texas, you wind up working in the Midwest, and it was an adventure. They sent me up to Kansas. You ever been to Kansas? You know what they could use in Kansas? A hill. It's the flattest place I've ever seen in my life. In Kansas, you can watch your dog run away for 3 days. You stand on a can of tuna fish, you can watch him 2 more days. You stand on a cement block, you can see the back of your own head. And the Midwest used to be so wholesome, not so much anymore. They sent me up to Iowa. They got a bad drug problem in Iowa. Did you know that? The kids up there, they're smoking crack corn. They're buying it from some guy named Jimmy. He don't care. Thank you. And if you keep going up I-35, man, you wind up in Minnesota. Oh, those people, it's so cold up there. And they know about Florida, but they're never coming. They go, oh gosh, it's a little hot down there, eh? But sometimes they bust loose. You'll see somebody from Minnesota come down here for the first time. They've never been to Florida before. And they go to the beach. And they wear their bikini for the first time ever. And they just lay out there. They kind of look like a badly rolled joint. They just kind of divots and lumps and twigs sticking out. But that whole area up there, it's always cold up there. That Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. Yeah, man, it's always purple on the USA Today weather map. It's just a cold place, man. But they, as much as we love our warm temperatures here, they love it cold up there. I'm talking to this guy from Michigan. He says, it gets so cold in Michigan in the wintertime, when you talk, you have to wait for the words to defrost before you can even hear them. I said, man, that's pretty cold. I said, well, I live in Wisconsin. It gets so cold in Wisconsin. Last year I was walking down the sidewalk. I spit, killed a poodle. And man, that's pretty cold. Guys, well, I live over in Minnesota. It gets so cold in Minnesota. Last year we were camping. I woke up in the middle of the night. I felt something in my pajamas. I reached right back there. I pulled out a big old chunk of ice. I held it up to the lantern, it melted, it melted, it melted, but that's pretty cold, sick. See, that was a fart joke and a physics joke. That was a joke for each side of your brain. Hey, he's freezing gas up there. That's pretty clever. And it made the fart noise we love so much. Let my hair grow out.
Are you looking for a job? Join me, Gene Hodge, on the Employment Opportunity Hour, Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m., where I will tell you and share with you, as well as answer all of your questions and help you find enjoyable employment instead of a job. This is the only talk show that talks about everyone who makes up our workforce. Join me on the Employment Opportunity Hour every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the Employment Opportunity Hour.
Don't turn it off now. You need this stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the imho.love show, in my humble opinion. And we decided we would share ours because pretty much truth is written in pencil these days. Here on the air with me is Michael Murburg.
Yeah,
and
where facts and opinions are both equally weighted.
exactly, and emotions. This is hurting me. Michael Murburg, our co-host at our Micopedia, and our special guest tonight, Derek Reichardt. Hey, I just wanted to bring something. I wanted to bring it up last week, but we skipped around it. I'm about 2.5 weeks with no sugar. I can't say that I've been absolutely religious about it. I know I've eaten some things that had some sugar in it, but I didn't willfully go towards sugar. All I've had is periphery sugar, and which can be dangerous as well. But I feel great. I've lost, I don't know, depending on which scale I trust, between 8 and 12 pounds. I'm not holding water. I mean, there's a lot of, not that was a big problem for me, but I feel a lot better. My joints are less achy, and you just forget how inflamed you get with sugar, man. I mean, I was just, and I tell you what, folks, my spirit has lifted as well, because I can tell you that those sugar blues, man, they can cause some depression. I was feeling some depression coming along, and I've dealt with it, most of my life. I go, let me try it without sugar this time. And it just kind of went away. It's like I stomped my foot and went, get out of here. It backed off, So, so folks, I'm not telling you anything new. Cut back on the sugar. Yeah, really. I mean,
yeah, you won't need your antidepressants.
It's funny you mention it, because a year and a half ago I did the same thing, and I went on a ketogenic diet, and over the last year and a half I lost 80 pounds, which was yeah.
But you work out pretty hard.
I work out, and I was cycling and doing all these things all the time. But one thing I found out is about 10 years ago I had a car accident and a bad head injury. And eating ketogenically, the ketogenic diet I read was developed back at the turn of the century to treat epilepsy in children. And I have epilepsy from the car accident, and unknowingly treated it, started feeling better. My headaches that I was getting from the accident started going away, and I quit having these, they weren't total loss of consciousness, grand mal seizures, but I could feel them and know when they were coming on. There was an aura. I'd feel terrible after. And the ketogenic diet, aside from losing the weight, treated that too. Wonderful. Felt awesome.
Yeah, it's nice, man. I've of course considered it many times. I did the Atkins diet many years ago, which is kind of the same thing. I don't see the big differences.
It's all paleo.
Yeah. Okay. And I lost 60 some pounds on that. In fact, that was the last time I was under 200. So, I don't know if I got that much energy left in me to do it again, but
of course you do.
But this feels good, and I know a lot of my buddies. We all went to lunch the other day. We looked like the Potbelly Bear Clan. Just all the guys were all just heavy in the front, and and that's the most dangerous place to carry your weight. It's a lot of pressure on all your organs there, and fatigues your knees carrying that big cruiser gut around with you. So yeah, it's time to. You kind of got to wait for that page in your life where it's going, okay, I'm going to do the whole thing now. I'm doing mind, body, and spirit. I'm going to do all three things at once. And of course, the spiritual development is very easy for me because it's right here. I don't have to do anything. I can think it. I can, meditate it in. I can manipulate my consciousness. I tell you what's been interesting over the last couple of years, exposing myself to CE5 and actually having some true visions. It changes your point of view.
And contact changes you forever for the better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I make better decisions for myself now, than I used to. Of course, all this is coming pretty late for a guy like me. I got to tell you, I should have been making these great decisions 30 years ago. But I wasn't.
It's better than 30 years from now.
All of a sudden you're 90 and you're going, I want to
Oh,
go
wow.
sit. I want to go sit in the field. But also too, last Saturday night we had a big gathering out there at Area 52, and you led a really, really fantastic meditation that really, I think, unified the group and got the energy flowing and going. We didn't have a whole lot of sightings that night, if any, that I saw. But the energy amongst those people was really, really tremendous. And in fact, in that meditation, I got a vision for a healing for someone in the group. And I, after we all settled back down, I walked over to them and shared with them. And they claimed it. It was something that was totally going on in their life. And they received the healing. So,
I'm honored to have been asked to do that meditation, and to hear that happened is just, that makes my heart smile.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after we go off
Yeah,
the
wonderful.
air.
I'd like to hear.
And but it's those kind of things to me that they're just so precious in life, because for one, you got to get away from your TV or your internet and your Wi-Fi and your telephone. And even though we're broadcasting on YouTube,
all
Facebook Live, you know, after this, turn it off.
Well, they can't all come down here and watch. You know,
That's true. And get away from that. I mean, shut your Wi-Fi down at night. Don't let those waves. See, these are waves, little microwaves that we've been walking through. You know, you can't feel it, you can't see it, but it's there.
No, it's interesting you mention that, and the spiritual component is very, very important, because in many ways the cards are stacked against us in terms of what we're bombarded with in media, in news, what we're told to like and dislike, and then just the wave action. Everything is waves and frequency.
Jeez.
And it, you know, we're at a disadvantage as far as spirituality goes. So once those things are shut off, that's when I woke up, when the TV was off, and those quiet moments. It's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, man. It was so nice. The other day, I got to go out to. I was out running errands, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take 20 minutes out, half hour out, and I went out and sat at the Dunedin Causeway
And just be.
and just listened to the waves and said my prayers, and you know, was grateful for all these beautiful people in my life, and I just had to take that moment of solitude. I had to stop in the middle of my day, and I used to do it a lot more, but these days I'm gonna get back into that, because that constant level of gratitude, and the scriptures say that one of the objectives of your life is to live in constant prayer. And when I first read that when I was a young believer, I went, how do you
do that?
Yeah, what do you crawl around all the time? You always you're in a closet? What are you doing? You know, because they tell you to build a prayer closet, and they tell you to be submissive in your stance and all that other stuff, but none of that's really necessary. That's all pomp and circumstance. It is good. But that living a life of constant prayer is meaning, to me, you're aware, and it's like your mensch lessons. It's like if you're really trying to be a mensch, like all this stuff, it comes upon you with the I can do this or that, you know, and then when you go, okay, I'm aware, and I'm gonna do the nice thing here, and then it's that one little extra thing you do with the little cherry on top. That's what makes it the extra nice. And you think of these things in your life, and to me, that's like a constant state of prayer for me, because I am supposed to serve our fellow humans, and as well as keeping myself a peaceful vessel.
Well, prayer is just merely a connection with the Almighty Creator. Once you establish that connection,
it's a constant thing.
It's a constant thing. There's no need to re-enter it. That's the nature of unity consciousness. It's the same thing. It's the same connection.
Yeah.
And meditation is how we get there. You essentially end up living your prayer.
Mm-hmm. It's a yes, exactly. That's exactly right. And if we do, I mean, I still say blessings before meals, and kind of old school stuff like that. And and it's funny. A guy a comedian I worked with 35 years ago. 30 years ago. We met on the road. His name was Ricky something. Big, tall, black dude out of Indianapolis. And we were on tour together for like a week, and city to city to city. So we like followed each other in our cars to the different locations. And the first time I sat down to break bread with him, as I went to dig into my food, he like grabbed my hand and
nice.
And we said a prayer, and I wasn't opposed to it at all, but just I didn't
expect that.
Right, I didn't expect it, and it wasn't something I was doing. But by the end of the week, I mean, I was like, we'd sit down to eat, and I'd go ahead, I'd be like, go ahead, say a prayer. It's nice. And now it's something that I do almost every meal. Just that little level of gratitude that. And I'm not saying you got to make a big deal out of it. Sometimes I just bow my head for a second and mumble something to myself. But it is knowing that, I mean, we live in this incredible society. And Michael and I talk about it all the time. It's, you have all this, you have so much comfort here. We live in a climate-controlled environment. We have food at arm's reach, and we get to drive cars with shiny wheels. We really do have a nice path here. If you're gonna run through the maze, this is a pretty picturesque maze. And
it beats being a slave during Roman times. I mean, if you got a choice, I mean, we're definitely doing the right thing here.
Well, maybe we were though. Maybe we were slaves. How many rotations back was that?
Well, we still have bread and circuses, just like Roman times.
Bread and circuses,
right.
So,
but it changed a little bit. It's now football and light beer.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. You don't want any mead?
No, it's too difficult to make. Highly caloric. It requires human beings that burn up 20,000 calories a day to drink on a regular basis. And we just don't do that here anymore.
Mead's too much work. But
it's funny you were mentioning meals. My first steps into mindfulness and consciousness was surrounding my meals when I was eating paleo and was even eating raw vegan for a while.
Yeah.
And while I was doing it, as I'd prepare my meals, I'd be thankful for the food that was grown for me, that it grew in the sun, that I was doing this blessing as I ate that changed the whole vibration of the circumstance of the food, of my thoughts for it, my thankfulness, and bringing it into my body with this wonderful gratitude was a big step on my way to awakening, to finding CE5, to having this Kundalini activation that happened. It was the food, and my first mindfulness steps were there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's the prayer with the food.
And same with me. I even before I was more aware, I've had various levels of awareness. But I remember, I remember the meal blessing being such a cool thing, and then I started doing it with my friends, and they thought it was a cool thing, and a couple of them guys started doing it with their families and friends. So it is an attitude of gratitude that carries us forward a lot of times, and people like to deal with someone. I really doubt that I would buy my Nissan from Fukushima Nissan just because the way that guy yells at people. I'd probably buy it from the mellow guy up in Spring Hill or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't have a TV, so I have no idea who you're
It's this
talking
guy
about.
that just yells about cars, and he sells a lot of cars, but he yells at everybody.
That appeals to people,
I guess. I don't know who. I mean, but anyway.
Let me kind of add here a little bit. When you do say, they call it grace for a reason. Let's say grace.
Okay.
And when you do say grace, you not only direct your own intention, but if you say grace with other people, you're directing their intention as well to gratitude, and that's a good thing. And the second thing is as Derek was talking, when you either kill or prepare or consume in your food and you eat it with reverence, it also slows down your time with your food, and it increases your satisfaction with it, and reduces your need to overconsume.
Yes, sure, absolutely.
Good stuff there, no matter how you cut it.
Yeah, and it's all that stuff your grandma told you. Chew your food 20 times. Chew your food 25 times, 30 times.
Yeah.
And if you pulverize your food, Okay, and
drink your whiskey straight.
You just, boom, it goes down smooth. No, but if you pulverize your food, you release amino acids from glands inside your jaw here that aid your digestion. You know, and if you look back I look back at some of my eating habits, and I was just doing it wrong. You know, I was eating a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of sugar, and woofing it down like somebody was going to take it from me. You know. And but now it's a lot slower thing, you know. I do take my time a little more these days, and you know, but it's this one little weird thing about me is I don't like my food to get cold, so I try to eat it while it's all still hot. So maybe I need
microwave.
No, I don't microwave. Boo, microwave. Yeah, why don't you just not eat? Because it zaps all the good stuff out of it, whatever it was.
I stopped the microwave too.
Yeah, microwaves are evil. They really are. And not to mention microwaves. And if you've been looking on my Facebook page, and thank you very much for keeping track. There's some really, really great information about CE5. I take really great information about 5G that I've been posting, which is the new cell phone powered, computer power that they're wiring the whole country for, which has extraordinarily frightening levels of radiation that are completely untested around humans.
Yep. Yeah.
And so, you know, and I'm not so sure. If you look at the frequency of cancers and stuff since we've had cell phones, since we've been walking through Wi-Fi, the amount of children that are coming up autistic these days, you really got to start looking at our modern environment, because all this stuff is like coming out of nowhere.
Well, don't turn it on when they're landing the plane because it's dangerous. But yeah, shove it right there in your pants pocket. That's fine. Put it right there by your parts.
Yeah, and the radiation that these machines produce is like, you know, and the kids, they put the little laptops in their lap. You know, that's where the most of the radiation is for either sex. I
don't know if it's true, but I heard that some of these owners of these companies that produce them will not let their kids sit with those in their lap.
No,
and if you read you read the studies on the radiation, they're not meant to have right against your head.
No, I know. And yeah, you've seen the heat photography of like your head before a cell phone call and your head after a cell phone call, and it's like glowing red.
Be careful.
You know, I use my speakerphone as often as I can, and to be honest with you, this is our fondle slab. That's my favorite nickname for it, is fondle slab, because you touch your phone a couple thousand times a day. That's creepy.
Yeah,
and
my precious.
Show me pictures. I want pictures. Oh, kittens.
I was who's that guy for CNN? The younger guy with the white hair.
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. I remember, you know, when I did have a TV set, I remember they were talking about E. coli bacteria, and they had his phone tested, and it was like lousy with bacteria. It was
right?
like, yeah. So be careful who you share your phone with.
Yikes.
You never know where that phone has been.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, okay. This is the imho.love show, folks. I'm Lou Angelwolf, Michael Murburg, our special guest, Derek Reichardt. And I'd like to say hi to a bunch of people. Rose and Barb, my brother Keith is on there, and Larry McLaughlin, hey buddy, and Mike DeSalvo, some friends listening in, and if you do go to my Facebook page, my personal Lou Angelwolf page, if you scroll down a couple of squares, I posted some really, really good CE5, some really, really good 5G. All these letters and numbers.
It's a lot of fives.
Yeah, it's like a parts guy or something. Some really good 5G information and stuff that, you know, you want to be aware of. You know, Michael, I got to tell you, man, at least once or twice a week, I have I really have like I just look around, I'm sitting in traffic usually, and things are stacking up, and I'm just looking, I go, I want to get out of here. I want to go somewhere else, man. I want to go where all this isn't. It's like I'd really,
That's why I spend so much time at the ranch.
Yeah, it's great out there. I mean, you're still 15 minutes from, the turmoil.
Yeah. That's what Sting said, packed like lemmings into shiny metal boxes.
Let me give a pitch for the UFO MegaCon. I'm going to be speaking out there out in March between the 23rd and the 31st. But UFO MegaCon is going to be having a week-long, it's called MegaCon for a reason. It's a gigantic conference, and it's going to be out in Laughlin, Nevada for those dates. Go check at their website, ufomegacon.com. I haven't been assigned a date yet, but I'm going to be speaking on the connection between heightened spiritual states and ET, UFO, and HIB contact as reflected in human art from Neolithic times until the present, my own path to contact and CE5.
Wow, and that's in Laughlin, Nevada in March?
Yes, that's correct.
March what?
March 23rd through the 31st.
Well, we should go.
That would be cool.
We should do an imho.love remote.
We can do that. Oh. They give me a booth too. I don't know.
A booth.
So if you guys want to bring imho.love along,
hey, can I sell my hot sauce?
Yeah, you can sell your hot sauce. And I actually should have. I got 3 books that are done. I got to get them edited, but they might be ready to at least an online book at that point in time.
And folks, this Beyond UFOs, Michael has a lovely contribution to this. This is just the little sampler pamphlet. This thing is the size of War and Peace. The full.
More entertaining, though.
Yeah, it is more entertaining. And what we're doing, folks, this show, the imho.love show, is we are sharing a consciousness that we're trusting, and we trust it well enough to share with you. If a lot of people are searching and looking. A lot of people are past the church thing. They're over it. I hear all the time about the hypocrisy that people suffered through in the church. And I got to tell you, folks, first off, let that go, okay?
Not to mention the Inquisition and torture.
Oh, the Inquisition, everybody no one expects the Inquisition. But,
this could be a whole hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
Oh, yeah, we could just tear the label right off this thing and just start digging. But, what this is, though, for those of you that are seeking higher consciousness, this is a very, very natural path for you. There's nothing weird, nothing freaky. There's no Sundance. There's no bloodletting. There's no, there's nothing unusual about this. This is all absolute passive spirit, heart, soul.
Love and gratitude.
Love and gratitude, the old show used to have, I had a backbone in it called The Pacifist Riot, which if you type that in, you can find that Pacifist Riot. And it's also on the imho.love show. And that's what this is all about. We all know, or those of us, we're recognizing that there's a beautiful love energy in the world, and we've tapped into it. And if you're looking for that, we can help you, and we'll extend it to you. And we'll tell you what we know. There's no money involved here. There's as little ego as possible. We're open for suggestions. We're open to meet new people. We met beautiful new people over the weekend. Sue and Ann were just tremendous.
They were awesome.
Oh, just little entities, both of them. And it's always good to see our regular friends there. It really is a lot like family. In fact, that's where we did Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was. It was a Thanksgiving dinner with family. And, for those who are listening, on the book, once again, Beyond UFOs, I was lucky enough to fall in with a bunch of eggheads from Harvard, Professor Dr. Rudy Schild, among them, the head of the department, the astrophysics department at Harvard. This is the quality of people, the kind of people that are writing in this book. And I highly suggest it. And, like you guys were saying, in a word, peace and love are the basis to exoconsciousness and ET and HIB, non-human intelligent being contact. And I'm so grateful to having both of you in my life, and Amanda as well, and everybody that's involved with the program. My goal is to continue to teach this and have people who visit the ranch learn enough so that they can start their own group in whatever part of the country they may go back to, and be successful at this, because it involves a spiritual evolution and a higher life force in you as you go on through life. You realize that everything you see is not it. There's more after this. There's no fear of death. There's no fear of extraterrestrials. And the main finding beyond UFOs and the Foundation for Research into Extraterrestrial and Extraordinary Encounters was that even with CE4 people, that abductees who were taken, 85% of them, even though they were abductees, and this is a study with 3,500 people, concluded that 85% of them found it to be a positive experience, even though they did not willingly initially engage in it.
There you go. Got to trust your brothers in the clouds, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it beats the politicians that are running the world.
Yeah, there's much better odds at 85%. Yep.
I'm sticking with the ETs.
I think I will too.
I like it. War of the Worlds. I'm sticking with the ETs.
Sticking with it too.
I haven't met an honest politician yet, but I've met some wonderful ETs.
There you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that background music. Pete, good job tonight, buddy. Thank you very much. Michael Murburg, our buddy Derek Reichardt, who we'll be seeing quite regularly. Amanda, always lovely to see you, dear. I'm Lou Angelwolf. This is the imho.love show that's, in my humble opinion, on Facebook. Be sure and like it and share it. You can even be bawdy about it. You can share it to all your friends if you like. It's also on YouTube. If you go to Tan Talk 1340, the shows get archived. They're all on there. It's a little rudimentary, but you'll figure your way out. And we're going to start smoothing out the imho.website here, too.
Rudimentary for now.
Yes, for now. Just click and stare. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening here on the Tan Talk Radio Network. I'm Lou Angelwolf, and we'll see you all next week.